Welcome, and thank you for joining this webinar, Invisible Power, Infinite Scale, How Ambient Energy is Pushing the Battery-Free IoT World, prepared by Alpert research team. What kind of cost reductions are we talking about?
The disruption is huge, and it comes from two places. First, the device cost itself. These ambient IoT tags are expected to cost somewhere between 10 and 50 cents.
Compared to what for a battery-powered one?
$5 to $15 for a comparable LTE-M or NB-IoT tag. It's a massive difference. But the bigger saving is probably in the operational cost. When you factor in labor and materials over the device's life, you're looking at a total 5-year saving of $50 to $200 per device. When you scale that to millions of assets, the numbers become astronomical.
For this to really take off, you need global standards.
The good news is that standardization is moving really fast. The biggest player is 3GPP for the cellular world. Their technical report, TR 22.840, laid out the use cases, and now Release 19 is defining the actual air interface protocols for these new device types.
So they're building this directly into 5G.
The goal is to upgrade existing 5G base stations and even regular phones to be able to act as AIoT readers. And the Wi-Fi ecosystem is IEEE following suit.
The IEEE recognized the necessity to integrate backscatter into unlicensed spectrum. The 802.11 MBP task group was formally established in March 2024. Their mandate is clear. Define a Wi-Fi standard for ambient IoT, including a specific physical layer tailored for backscatter operation. This means soon your average Wi-Fi access point could become a battery-free tag reader.
And we're also seeing the Bluetooth SIG making moves, suggesting that short-range personal area networks will also adapt.
The Bluetooth SIG is aligning its BLE protocols to accommodate the energy constraints of ambient-powered tags, ensuring that tags can use ultra-low power protocols for identification and basic data transfer over short ranges. This three-pronged standardization effort, cellular, Wi-Fi, and short-range, guarantees massive future deployment flexibility. Industry bodies like the Ambient IoT Alliance, involving major semiconductor and communications giants, are driving the ecosystem collaboration necessary for rapid commercialization. Let's revisit that idea of wireless power transfer. You said it creates a fundamental shift in market power. Can you unpack that? How does it change who makes money?
Broadcasting a cellular or a Wi-Fi signal was just a cost of doing business for a telco, an operational expense. Now, with AIoT, that signal becomes a monetizable, value-added service. You're not just selling connectivity, you're selling wireless power. This shifts the market power away from the traditional carriers and towards the big retailers, the manufacturers.
Because they're the ones deploying the sensors and own the data.
They become their own independent data hubs. They control the sensor network that's embedded in their core assets. They're buying power and connectivity, but they own the real value, which is the data ecosystem built on top of it.
It reframes the telco as an energy utility. And what about the core network itself?
Traditional 4G core functions just aren't built for this. They assume a device has a stable connection, a session, a persistent state. AIoT devices violate all of those assumptions, so you need a new network function. A new box in the diagram. It's called the AIoT function, or AIoTF. It acts as the crucial interface, translating between the simple AIoT protocols and the complex 5G core. And critically, it takes on the security role.
Because the tags themselves are too simple for heavy encryption.
Exactly. The AIoTF has to be the centralized brain for security.
Yeah.
It manages authentication, it handles the context of these intermittent devices, and it protects against attacks, all within the core network.
Let's quickly revisit those three 3GPP network topologies. I want to focus on topology 3, the hybrid one. Why is separating the uplink and downlink functions so important for avoiding interference?
It's all about that massive power difference. The carrier signal coming from the network to the tag, the downlink, is very strong. The reflected signal coming back from the tag, the uplink, is incredibly weak.
And if the same node tries to do both,
the strong downlink signal will completely blind its own receiver. It'll never hear the faint whisper of the backscattered uplink. So topology 3 separates the job. One node might send the strong carrier, but a completely different node somewhere else is listening for the weak reply. It neatly sidesteps that duplex interference problem. To solve the range and interference problem, the network relies on assist nodes. Why are these so crucial?
They're crucial for two reasons. First, coverage extension. An assist node, which could be a regular smartphone, a relay, or an integrated access and backhaul node, can be positioned closer to the AIoT tag, providing a stronger carrier wave and a better communication path, expanding the overall coverage footprint. Second is interference mitigation. When a base station acts as a reader, it has to transmit a high-power carrier wave while simultaneously trying to listen for the extremely faint backscattered signal. This is known as the full duplex interference problem. An assist node decouples these functions. The base station transmits the data, and the assist node provides the localized carrier wave and handles the low power reception, avoiding the self-interference issues for the main base station. Since the tag is so simple, all the complexity gets pushed to the network. How does the deployment architecture, specifically these assist nodes, handle that?
Assist nodes are the essential middlemen. They act as intelligent gateways. Their job is to shield the core network and the cloud from the absolute flood of raw, simple data these tags produce.
So they do pre-processing.
They filter out redundant data, they aggregate readings, they manage the backhaul connection. They are the critical data management layer that prevents the entire system from being overwhelmed. Revisiting the economic picture, how does the shifting complexity affect the overall scalability and form factor innovation?
The complexity shift is the enabler of true scale. By moving the heavy lifting, the synchronization, the advanced DSP, the energy management complexity into the network infrastructure, the tag itself can be reduced to an absolute minimum. We're seeing extreme miniaturization. Backscatter modules and ultra-low power microcontrollers like the ARM Cortex-M0 Plus can be integrated into devices down to 1 millimeter squared plus the antenna. This allows the production process to be streamlined and costs to be pushed down to that 10 to 50 cent range, unlocking the potential for billions of devices.
I think the key strategic takeaway is that shift in market dynamics. This technology fundamentally transforms what used to be an operational cost for a network operator, blasting out a radio signal, into a monetizable service, providing wireless power. This movement creates new ecosystems where the manufacturers and retailers who actually own the sensor data become the new data hubs. They create value in a way that's separate from just providing connectivity. It forces a total reassessment of where value lies in the entire IoT chain. Interested in gaining a deeper understanding of the transformative power of wireless technology? Join the Alpert research team's webinars to explore cutting-edge wireless innovations, their applications, and their implications. Click the links below to learn more.